Welcome back, and welcome to my 100th video on the channel. I figured what better way to celebrate than by diving into a very specific, very unhinged corner of my brain that's been dormant since the serial killer runs came to an end. Today we're going to be going over the top 100 rooms in the Batman Arkham series. But first, let's get some ground rules out of the way. The games will be spoken about in the following order, purely because that's just the order I wrote my list in. So, Asylum, City, Knight, Origins, the other one, and finally Shadow. They aren't ranked within the games because while making this, I just couldn't think of a good enough way to rank the rooms and not get flamed. So look at this as more of an overall top 100. If a room really stands out to me, I do mention it. They are cool and they're still handpicked, but ranking each and every room seemed a little bit silly and a little bit pointless. I mean, what separates the library in Arkham Mansion from the Wonder Tower observation deck? They're all cool rooms, weird rooms and iconic rooms, but not in any concrete order. There won't be a set amount in the list from each game either, so some games do have more than others, which was to be expected. But what counts as a room, you ask? Well, if it has a door and or walls, it's a room. That's it. Oh, and it has to be real, so Scarecrow and Raish are probably crying right now, and this also rules out any room from Arkham VR. Finally, please do not take this seriously. I'm compiling 100 rooms in the Arkham series. It's not that deep. Now, hit that like button so more people can see the 100 best rooms in the Arkham series. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've just hit 10k subs, which I'm extremely grateful for, and this is just the beginning. 10k subs, 100 videos, it's all come together nicely. Anyway, let's kick things off with a few honourable mentions. Honourable mentions are as follows: the room where you first take Zsasz down in Asylum, the Green Mile from Asylum, Zsasz's hideout in City, the Initiation DLC rooms from Origins, the Hat Shop from Origins, Christina Bell's stealth room from Knight, the Commissary from Shadow, the Blackgate Chapel from Shadow and Origins, and probably a lot of other rooms I forgot. Anyway, let's get into this and start with Batman Arkham Asylum. The Sanatorium. The best stealth room in the series. It's a staple of the series and arguably its most iconic room. The Sanatorium acts as Arkham Asylum's first real stealth room where there's real threat. It was so good it came back in Arkham Knight as the map Silent Night, and in Arkham Shadow as Stalking Tiger. But what strikes me most about this room isn't its gameplay aspects. No, it's the fact it became the blueprint for nearly every stealth encounter after it when it comes to layout. It became the traditional 3-tier setup: a ground floor, a middle floor, and a top floor surrounded by gargoyles, and each floor comes with its own tactical challenges. While we're talking about the gameplay though, I know we weren't, but stick with me here. The gameplay here is solid. In Asylum, it's the first time we can spread our wings and show off with the stealth, rigging the room with explosive gel and taking out thugs as quickly as possible, and that gameplay factor carried itself into Night, where the world record for the map is like 1/100th of a second or something at this point, and into Shadow, where you can get the same experience, but this time you are actually there. The Sanatorium is also home to a load of lore in addition to all of its other perks. This lore includes Killer Croc's first cell, which is the answer to a riddle in Asylum, and I know this isn't the real room he was tortured in, but for a while we were led to believe this is where Jason Todd was tortured, which just adds to the atmosphere of the room. Main Hall, Arkham Mansion. Who's the main room in the main list? Not this one, but it's still cool nonetheless. It's big, eerie, and features a working metal detector. A little deep cut joke there for long-time viewers. I say it's been a long time, like I didn't only start uploading in August of 2024. You get the point, this room is cool. Records Room, Arkham Mansion. Iconic, fun, and home to one of the easiest stealth encounters in the whole series to cheese. Croc's Lair, Sewers. Is this a room? It's debatable, but to me it counts. It has walls, a door, and some very creaky floors. Home to Killer Croc, my favourite Batman villain, it was hard to leave this room out, and it's earned its place on the list even more because it still remains one of the only rooms I'm scared to enter. The Skull Room, Dead Man's Point. Weirdly specific, I know, but I always love coming through here. It's packed with atmosphere, and although part of a larger cave system, it sticks out to me as one of the best parts of the system due to these giant skulls, which don't actually match up to the size of anyone's head in the game. Well, anyone that's human anyway. Batcave, Dead Man's Point. The first Batcave. The best? Probably not, but it's still cool. It has all the hallmarks of a good cave, and it births the beautiful Ultra Batclaw, so in my books, it's a win. I also love the fact you can kick these boxes off the ledge. There's absolutely no reason why you should ever have to do this, but here we are. Scarecrow's Lair Intensive Treatment. Eerie, hidden, and untidy, much like your bedroom. I love it. Shows Crane did his research. Decontamination Intensive Treatment. Joker Gas Room 1. Really cool. Lots of people died here, there's a Riddler trophy, and a few breakable teeth. And obviously, Batman totally kills this thug. Holding Cells Intensive Treatment. Iconic. The first room in the series we get to play in, the starting point for the greatest superhero game series ever, and was the room we first got introduced to free flow combat, and stands to me at least as one of the best rooms in the series. There's also a Riddler trophy here in one of Arkham's most infamous cells. Mr. Nashton's cell here was initially covered in blood, but would later be censored and covered with what I can only assume is xenomorph blood? I'm honestly not sure. Surgery Room, the medical facility. It's an ambush, just not for me. There's something oddly nostalgic about this room that you spend a grand total of 4 minutes in on a good day. I think it's the screens, they just add to the feel of the game, and the fact it's one of the few rooms in the medical facility not lit by those abrasive and surgical white lights just makes this stick out among the rest of the rooms in the facility. Extreme Incarceration, the Penitentiary. Probably one of my favourite rooms from Arkham Asylum's hallowed halls. Here we have one of the coolest Easter eggs in the game with Freeze's cell, and one of the best fights in the game with the 3 electrified I still can't say that, let's just carry on, against the Joker and Harley's thugs. And overall, I love this room, definitely one of the rooms from the series which is burned into my head. The Morgue, the medical facility. Iconic. Our first real introduction to Scarecrow, and we all know how that ended up. This morgue is awesome. The creepy voice is telling you to leave and get out of the room. When you leave, you end up right back there. It's got the body bags, the scares, the Easter eggs. It's all great, it's all morbid, and for me it's one of the best rooms in the series. Bane Boss Fight Room, medical facility. Another extremely nostalgic room for me. It's the boiler room of the medical facility, and that just adds to the atmosphere when fighting Bane. I know Bane isn't at his best here, but this room and just the feeling of it, it's so awesome. Main Cells, Penitentiary. That first introduction to the penitentiary, cinema. The screams of the inmates, the fear of the unknown, it all comes together to create for me one of Arkham's most memorable rooms and one of the best section openers of the series. Sharp's Office, Mansion. A late inclusion into the list because somehow I forgot it, but it has a trove of Easter eggs, an explosive ending to a character's life, and overall a great atmosphere. And obviously I guess this might be bending the rules ever so slightly, but the Arkham City room within this room is one of, if not the best hidden Easter egg in the series. It's awesome and it's so well hidden. The Flooded Corridor, Botanical Gardens. Again, is this a room? Probably not. But my serious house enjoyers out there will appreciate this for what it is. It's a great Easter egg to an even better story and the origins of this very building. Avery, Botanical Gardens. Menacing, creepy, and packed with that signature asylum atmosphere added on top. This has to be one of the greatest rooms in the series, purely for the fact that it has one of the only mentions of Batman's best villain, Killer Moth, and for that reason, it deserves more respect. Secret Titan Lab, Botanical Gardens. It's colourful, important, and has a missing frame during this cutscene in Return to Arkham. But seriously, I love this room. It got him because it's got plenty of colour and switches things up from the usual bleak nature of some of these rooms. Amadeus's cell, Arkham Mansion. One of the asylum's most supernatural locations, and the last place its father, Amadeus, ever saw, destined to spend the rest of his life in his own asylum, consumed by his own monster. The Visitors Centre. It had to be here, didn't it? The forced first-person perspective, the giant dust particles visible in the air, the Joker at the end of the hallway, and of course the conversations you can have with Mr. J, all add up to make one of the most unique locations in the series. In fact, I'd argue it's the most unique location for all of the reasons I stated above, and we never really got anything like this ever again. Pressure Control Junction, Caves. Horror at its finest. Not because of the atmosphere, but because of the Titan fight. Control Room, Caves. Somehow the worst and best stealth room in the game. It's the best because it's really challenging, and it's the worst because it's really challenging. I have said enough. Guard Room Penitentiary. Memorable, for me at least, it has a lot of the hallmarks of a typical asylum room and holds one of the game's few real puzzles. Controlled access penitentiary. An underrated but really cool location in the penitentiary, it houses one of the coolest scares in the game as the lunatic falls from the grate above, and also at one point housed Harvey Dent in what I'm sure was one of his whole host of stays here in the asylum. Security Control Room Penitentiary. Clayface, Luke Oliver Easter egg. This is awesome. Glasshouse entrance, Botanical Gardens. For some reason, I love this room. The atmosphere in the gardens is one of my favourite feelings in the whole series, and quite frankly, it all begins here. It has riddles, it has kills for the count, and obviously it has that Arkham Asylum aura. Abandoned Chamber, Botanical Garden. Probably my favourite location in Arkham Asylum, if not easily within the top 3. It may fly under the radar as one of the more hidden rooms in the game, and although it doesn't have any big story beats or many collectibles, although it does have a few, the first time you come through here when tracking the secret Titan labs, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. You've got Jokers humming, the dripping water, the green hue. It's all so memorable, and to put the icing on the cake, when you head up this waterfall, one of Jay's failed experiments can drop down this pipe. He's all mangled and messed up from the Titan experiments, and just further adds to the fact Joker will stop at nothing to perfect his formula, seeing his men as lab rats more than people. I adore this room, and it still puts me on edge and a smile on my face to this day.
Shut Arkham City down. It's out of control.
Shut it down. By the end of tonight, I will be a hero, just like you. Batman.
Now for Batman Arkham City, and kicking us off we have the Wonder Tower Foundation's Wonder City. The bottom of the top, just drenched in that beautiful Wonder City aura. The pipes carrying the Lazarus through to the beating heart of the city, the globe spinning when the rest of the world around it has stopped. It even houses one of my favourite personal stealth sections in the game, 3 layers, all kinds of takedowns available, and a group of hard enemies. And it even has a Titan canister, a harken back to the city's twisted roots back on Arkham Island. It's wonderful. Wonder Avenue, Wonder City. A 2-for-1 deal here, but despite the fact they're listed as the same place, I think they're different enough to be spoken about slightly differently. Wonder City, guarded to the nines by the ancient Wonder City Guardians, bastions of justice thwarted by the relentless march of time they were created to outlast. Wonder City not only stands as a reminder of the illusions of grandeur concocted by generations long past, but it stands as a reminder of what happens when these illusions are left unchecked by a power greater than the ones who formed the illusions to begin with. Its avenue, the vein which connects it to the heart and the body of the city it swore to keep alive respectively, harkens back to a time when Arkham Asylum was Gotham's hotbed of criminal activity, and it shows us that not only has that time long since passed, but it has been all but erased, and turned into an even more all-consuming monster. It shows us that our former biggest threats, the high security henchmen, the lunatics, they're minnows now, not even a threat anymore, a hanging look back at the catalyst of our troubles. Now, do not ever tell people that I cannot write a good script, I just choose not to. Wonder Tower Observation Deck, Wonder City. The beginning of the end for Arkham City, where Protocol 10 was ordered to begin and where it was ordered to end, and where the brain behind the operation was brought to a swift and sharp end by his master. Not only are the views outstanding, but so is the challenge. The top of the world holds challenges that have stumped even the staunchest of Dark Knights. It's unforgiving, not your usual hunting grounds, but nonetheless, it's a hunting ground you have to conquer one way or another. Subway Terminal Underground. A crucial location for understanding the brewing gang war on the streets of Arkham City. It holds many secrets, but it's open all year round, gathering bodies of the gang members above and piling them up. It also holds one of the greatest thug dialogues ever.
Do those things even work underground? I read the manual. It never said anything about working underground.
Yeah, they work.
If you say so.
Since when have you been all about reading anyway?
I read.
Horn don't count.
Subway station underground. Iconic, and aside from the church, it's architecturally the closest callback we get to the darkened halls of Amadeus Arkham's personal hell on earth. It's haunting, somehow as nostalgic as it is unfamiliar, and yet it remains one of my personal favourite locations lying just underneath the concrete skin of Arkham City. Boiler Room, Steel Mill. Gadgets, gas and gags, what's not to love? This cosy hideaway at the bottom of Roman Sionis' former haunt becomes a hotbed for all sorts of fun stuff, including new ways to freeze enemies, a fun duck shooting game, and most importantly Joker's box of tricks, a truly underrated part of the mill most casual players won't have even ever seen. Gladiator Pit Museum. One of Arkham City's many giant fights, it is what it says on the tin. It's a gladiator pit where the strongest survive. I love the layout of it, and I just love the surroundings of it. It feels daunting while keeping a really cool feeling. It also features one of 2 times we get to fight a Titan thug in Arkham City's main campaign, which is a nice callback and makes this part of the museum feel unique. Solomon Wayne Courthouse. One of the only locations which appears twice on this list, but it deserves it. The Solomon Wayne Courthouse is a mainstay in the franchise as a place where shit goes down, and I think it reaches one of its peaks in Arkham City. Within its walls at one point we have a former DA, a strung up feline, a calendar criminal, and of course a Batman. It's an awesome location with so much history and so many iconic moments within that history. Joker's HQ, Steel Mill. Arguably Arkham's single most iconic room, Joker's Steel Mill HQ is the birthplace of the live Jonkler reaction image, the rumours Harley was pregnant throughout the series, and it gave us probably Arkham's most memorable cutscene and interaction between Joker and Batman. Design-wise though, this room isn't as memorable. It's cool, sure, but nothing outstanding. However, it remains one of the best rooms in the series. And before anyone comments, yes, I've seen Clown Puncher's video, I know Harley wasn't pregnant, leave me alone. Joker's Funhouse, Steel Mill. Arkham City's hardest combat section comes wrapped in the walls of Joker's Funhouse. This is one of my favourite sections in the game. One of Joker's last gasp attempts to slow Batman down and cure himself all comes to a head here, and I think it acts as a great themed place for the Clown Prince of Crime to make one of his final stands. The design here though is what I love. More than the story which takes place within it, the general unhinged theme park vibes of it, the roller coasters trains trying to hit you while you fight off Joker's men, it's just awesome and stands as one of my favourite rooms in the series. Smelting Chamber, Steel Mill. An iconic stealth room and obviously gave birth to the Wreck Gun, my beloved. I love this room so much. It's fun, memorable and not too hard to get through. Interrogation Room, Processing. To quote the WrestleMania 20 slogan, this is where it all begins again. A blinding light, a look back at yourself strapped to a chair as Bruce Wayne, and a whole mystery to uncover. This room is burned directly into the retinas of every Arkham fan and content creator respectively. It's harsh, unforgiving, and serves as a perfect launching point for the second outing in the series. Bullpen GCPD. In both its unfrozen and frozen forms, this room is a masterclass in stealth room layout. It has plenty of traps already set, some that need to be sprung into action by the player, and it houses one of the best boss fights in the series against Mr. Freeze. I think it's iconic as it is fun to work around, and its multiple smaller rooms within it make for a great challenge. Church City. That idiot thinks he's safe in the confessional. He's just made it easier for me to get behind him. Iconic. Arkham City's other architectural callback to the Asylum, and it makes for a great stealth tutorial room. It shows us the game's 3 new takedowns while giving us the reward of saving hostages, and despite Riddler's makeover to it later in the game, it makes for a great location within the game and one of the most memorable in the series. Church Bomb Room City. I'm counting this as a different room because why not, it's my list. There isn't much to say here, and we only spend a few seconds in it before it's blown to Kingdom Come, but it's extremely memorable, and the foreshadowing that takes place here gets its points. Lazarus Pit Room, Wonder City. The final room where the Joker ever steps foot in, the beginning of the end for Batman, and the final location we visit during the Arkham City story. It's a great room with great memories and actually appears twice, once when we fight Raish and once right at the end of the game. It's fun, colourful and features arguably Arkham's most emotionally dividing moment. Joker Shrine, Steel Mill. The only room from Robin's DLC. I just like the fact there's a giant Joker Shrine and Batman's captured in it. It isn't much of anything in way of design outside of that, but that part of the room gives it a spot in my top 100, and also features another Titan fight, which is nice. We even fight the Wonder City Guardians here, which is great. They're a unique enemy type that never appear again, and I love them. I just think this room is awesome. Strange's Vault. Strange's Vault is only visited once during Arkham City's main story, and it comes when Catwoman pays it a visit to get her loot, break Ivy's plan and leave Arkham City. I think the lack of time we spend in this room makes it even more fun. It has a few fun Easter eggs and houses a nice little combat section too. Torture Chamber Museum. For me, the best room in the museum. It's close, but it just about takes the cake. It's the heart of the museum, and it has it all. The aura, the scale, and the lovely cooling hue of the room are all great. But what does it for me is the traversal challenges. The ice which can break under Batman's feet, and yes, he does have an ice density scanner which is incredibly specific and I love it. The way Batman has to pull wooden planks to get across the water once the ice melts, and of course, everyone's favourite Great White, Tiny. Iceberg Lounge Museum. Penguin's Lounge is an iconic piece of Batman lore both in and out of the Arkhamverse, and after he blows it up to let us fight his pet zombie, we can revisit Cobblepot's Cold Casa and see that it's actually really cool, no pun intended. It's exactly what I'd expect Penguin's flagship lounge to look like, and I think it gives off serious Fallout 4 vibes. I can't explain it, but it does. I love it and would happily have a drink here with anyone watching this video if the opportunity presented itself. The second Riddler room. Riddler's first outing had riddles, trophies and challenges. Riddler's second outing had jigsaw traps and hostages. I have one word in the words of Commissioner Gordon: escalation. When I think of Riddler in Arkham City, this is the room I think of. Iconic, fun to complete, and we get to see the Riddler Seath at yet another common Batman W, and for that it gets itself on the list. Hush's hideout. An awesome room to end an equally awesome side mission. In this room, it's as disturbing as Hush himself, and I think the reveal that Tommy had been reconstructing Bruce's face is so well done. The whole room just screams serial killer, and I can't even imagine what it would be like to be strapped to that chair as my face is removed. And quite frankly, I think that's one of life's small mercies, that the human imagination won't let me imagine that. It's horrifying stuff, and it's a great room.
Tonight, Gotham's relying on one man to save us all.
Unremarkable Dock, Gotham City. Yes, this isn't a room, but I asked my good friend Val Strakuga what his favourite room in the series was, and although he himself was smart enough to acknowledge that this wasn't a room, I just found it too funny to leave out because he's right. Not only is this dock extremely forgettable, but it's also completely impractical. Clock Tower, Gotham City. The Clock Tower acts as one of Batman's Gotham City bases, and to me it's the most pleasing on the inside. Before its transformation, it's an old-timey Gotham interior, but when the bust is opened and it transforms, it becomes a high-tech base of operations, with projected screens, and obviously it always has the Batgirl suit and memorabilia in the wall, which is a great touch and serves as a reminder for Oracle, its most common inhabitant, that crime fighting can be life-changing even when you're at the top of your game. Clock Tower offices, Gotham City. Just below the clock tower lies the offices, a small but cool part of the belfry. It keeps that quintessential Gotham interior style which matches a lot of other lived-in interiors in the series. We can see that the Birds of Prey are active here, which is really cool, and overall I just think this is a nice, underused location. Evidence Room, GCPD. The culmination of Batman's heroics in the series, the GCPD Evidence Room serves as one of its 3 pseudo-trophy rooms, and this to me is probably its coolest. It has all of Gotham's most wanted gadgets and gizmos, and what we can only assume is a 3D printed replica mask of the Arkham Knight helmet, since his real one is still on the floor where he unmasked, and obviously we can grab a Riddler trophy out of the cabinet, as well as rescue my beloved Ret gun from its glass cage. I think this room is one of the coolest in the series, purely because of its ability to tell us so many stories, and for a new player, a casual fan, or a first-time Arkham Knight player, this room is a treasure trove of information. The Movie Studio Cell Room. Batman's larger, more advanced field base in Gotham, the movie studio's holding cells are really cool and act as a really pivotal location in the story and one of its most memorable. The room design itself is really cool, with the different cells lining the outskirts of the room, the giant bat computer looming over the centre of the room, and the overall feel of this room just make it really memorable. My favourite part of it is the fact you can pick up the freeze blast here, and that's really cool. Story-wise though, it comes with a ton of huge moments. Tim being thrown into the cage by Batman, Henry Adams' suicide, Batman revealing he's the last Joker out there, and obviously Tim being kidnapped from here by Scarecrow at the end of the game, which leads into the ending. Mixing Chamber, Ace Chemicals. Probably a rogue inclusion, but I love this room so much. There's something about it that just makes me feel strange. I think it's the general design of the room that does it for me, and obviously the central part of the room where Crane is mixing his gas together is probably my favourite part of it. It's a big room story-wise, and again, just looks really cool. We don't spend a huge amount of time here, but the time we do is unforgettable. Bullpen GCPD. Another GCPD trophy room, this serves as both a visual representation of how many of Gotham's most wanted you've locked away and how many civilians you've rescued, and also a general hub of Gotham's finest. I think this room's a bit of a strange one because collectively I've probably spent hours upon hours in here since 2015, but never really took it all in, and when you do take it all in and look around and notice that trademark rocksteady attention to detail, this room becomes so much more fun to look around. It's great and it adds to the feeling of Gotham being a real lively city with its police force being a key part of that. Special Lockup GCPD. Now, although this only became available to see to its full extent after the Season of Infamy DLC, for me cemented itself as a really cool and memorable room. It houses Killer Croc, Rankin, Mad Hatter and Ra's al Ghul if you let him die. It's a great little room full of characters and character. Johnny Charisma's room, Movie Studios. Take me on home to the asylum. Never alone in the asylum. Anarchy ruled, it was wild, but through it all, you never smiled. Joke's on you, I'm in your head, so look who's laughing now. Remember in Arkham City, I killed your girl, so pretty. That was the night you left me to die, but when I looked you in the eye, that's when I knew we'd be together, look who's laughing now. Enough said. Albert King Room, Movie Studios. Red Dead Redemption. Enough said. Nora Ship, Freeze Meeting Room, Gotham City. One of the most visually stunning rooms in the game. The first room we meet Mr. Freeze in Arkham Knight always sticks out to me as one of the game's most visually striking rooms. The lights going off, the ice, the water, it all combines to make what I think is a really nice small room. Penitentiary Corridors, Iron Heights. Is this a room? No. But again, it's my list, I just couldn't leave this out. It's probably the closest we ever get to reliving the atmosphere of Arkham Asylum's halls, and I love it. It's a wonderful, atmospheric addition to one of my favourite DLCs in the series. The Mad Hatter Interrogation Room. Every cutscene in this room just looks perfect. I'm not sure what it is specifically, I think it's the lighting, but Lord above does this room make everything look good. Ra's Lair, Thomas Elliot Memorial Hospital. One of the only rooms where we can actually make a decision in the series, Ra's Lair under the Thomas Elliot Hospital serves as a really unnerving and atmospheric final place to meet Ra's al Ghul. Now, is Ra's al Ghul immortal? Are his methods supernatural? I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is this room is awesome, and whichever ending you pick, you are wrong. Waiting Room, Thomas Elliot Memorial Hospital. Another room in the Thomas Elliot Memorial Hospital. I don't know what it is about these DLC locations that make them look this damn good, but they do, and the fact a hospital waiting room stuck with me enough to make it into this list says a lot. This is a very underrated room. Morgue, Thomas Elliot Memorial Hospital. Yep, another room from the hospital, and this is probably the best one. Not only does it house a few cool Easter eggs, namely its inhabitants, or in Talia's case, lack thereof, but it has a great puzzle section in it and continues that aura that flows throughout the hospital. Final Jason torture scene, alternate room, Movie Studios. Technically this room has already been on the list, but this is like a completely different version of it. Different enough for me to make it its own entry. It's really cool. The sphere of showing Jason and Joker's conversation is a great visual, and the way it shows the final part of the Jason subplot is great. I think purely as a visual feast, this is one of Arkham Knight's most memorable moments, and it always sticks out to me as a high point of the game visually. Kirk Langstrom's lab, Gotham City. Probably a top 5 room in the game for me. It's beautiful, atmospheric and unnerving. It's awesome, but underneath that atmosphere is a tale of a man losing his wife and himself to a monster he didn't mean to make. It's the little things that make this room so good. The broken glass with the bloody message on it reading "Together Forever, my love," the TV replaying the final moments before Kirk became Man-Bat, and the lack of Francine's body in the room make this one of the creepiest rooms in the game. And for me, call me weird for this, I don't care, I regularly revisit this just for the love of the game. Edward Burke's room, Seagate Amusement Park. I mean, this room is cool, unnerving, and honestly generally quite bland, but it's the story that we can listen to within its walls about Joker's acquisition of the park, and the tragedy it retells, which gets it a place in my list. It's great. Riddler's HQ, Catwoman's Revenge. Nightmare fuel, but not for why you think. It isn't the design, it's the fight. Although I do want it on record, I did a no-hit run of this room with fully inverted controls, so like, it isn't that hard, and you all suffer from massive skill issues. Get good, scrub. Daytime GCPD offices, Nightwing's DLC. How weird does this look? It's the GCPD, but in the daytime. It still looks just as miserable, but it's a cool visual. These offices are really cool and make for a great unconventional stealth room. Two-Face's hideout's main room. A whole building split into two because of symbolism and all that stuff? Hell yes. This is probably Arkham Knight's most underrated location in my opinion. It's a bright, fun location to work your way through, but my favourite room within the hideout is the main room where you fight Harvey's thugs and take down Harvey himself. I would say it's not all black and white and there is some nuance to it, but well, it is all black and white and for that reason it's awesome. Wayne Plaza main offices. Brucius, that's my name for Bruce and Lucius if you were wondering, well, this is their main office. It's a great inclusion in the game and I think it has so many cool little Easter eggs. The Easter eggs include the phone calls from Lex Luthor, who has a fascination with Wayne's Applied Sciences division, a phone call from Vicky Vale, another one from Kate Kane, another one from a woman simply known as Cassie, which I'm going to assume is a reference to Cassandra Cain, and finally, my favourite from the Joker. And I think the fact I find these genuinely funny is a little bit worrying. The other big Easter egg is the hidden pods of equipment which can be brought up from the floor, which are again really cool. I think this whole room is amazing and I love the colours it brings to the table and the whole layout is just perfection. Subject testing, Stag Airship 2. Moody lighting, unethical human experiments and voice logs. Oh yeah, this is a bit of me. I love it. Again, is it really a room? Well, maybe. I don't know. The point is that it's a really great little part of Stag's airship and really captures the Arkham atmosphere that some argue was missing from this section of the game. It's a great place to come and aura farm, hear what Stag was really up to before the events of the game, and all around it's a fun time. Croc's Lair, Gotham City. Croc's Lair is a really cool little part of this map. It clearly used to house the Big Chiller, and as Croc's biggest fan, this is one of my favourite locations in the game. Starro Room, Seagate Amusement Park. Terrifying, hidden, and an absolute terror to find by yourself. This room, nodding to the Justice League of America's first ever opponent, serves as one of the game's most unsettling locations. It has this brief humming noise that plays as you get closer, and when you actually get inside you are met by an eye. It follows you around the room, and it wishes it could get to you. There's little Easter eggs to Starro around the Seagate Amusement Park, which is all well and good, but he's actually here, and it's terrifying. An entity as powerful and as lethal as Starro is separated from Batgirl by a sheet of glass, which begs the question, does he want to get out or is he waiting for the right moment to strike? Pretty Doll's Parlour, Gotham City. Thank you to Arkham Analysis for telling me that originally I had left this off the list, and if you know anything about me, you'll know that I must have been having an off day because Perfect Crime is my favourite side mission in this series, and somehow I'd forgotten about the room where it all ends. Despite my lapse in judgment, I love this room. It's probably one of the most eerie rooms in the series and wouldn't look out of place in a Saw movie. The opera music, Ode to Perfection for those of you who want to listen to it, adds a great layer of tension. Not only do you not fully understand the piggy in the middle, your senses are always being overwhelmed. The loud music, the gruesome imagery, this whole thing is made to make you feel uneasy, and by God does it work. Even to this day I tread lightly in this pig's pen and make sure to check my corners like I'm playing Ready or Not. Batman Arkham Origins is up next, and we kick off with the Batcave, Wayne Manor. It's our first real, fully explorable Batcave in a main story setting. It's big, has all the hallmarks of a traditional Batcave, and best of all, it's functional, which is nice. You can change suits here, speak to Alfred for some wisdom or a laugh, see the best Batmobile ever being built, enter challenge maps here, and it really helps serve the immersion of the game. You don't know how much you really need a Batcave until you have one, and the moment you don't have one, it's hard to imagine life without it. It also has two of Origin's best story moments, specifically when Alfred and Bruce argue, and the whole scene between Alfred dying and Bruce realising he needs to let people in, and that moment as the bats swarm and he puts the cowl back on and says that the people need us, is just cinema. Probably my favourite part of the game, and one of the most hair-raising moments in the series. Gotham Royal Lobby, Gotham Royal Hotel. A stealth room which I always look forward to tackling. It's a grand hotel lobby and it just feels right to have a stealth room here. I know this isn't the most iconic stealth room, but I think it does just enough to get a spot on this list. And added on to the fact it's where we grab the shot gloves off Mr. Kushner's newly dead body, still not entirely sure how I feel about that, and it cements itself as a personal favourite in my eyes. Fighting Pit, the final offer. What can I say about this that hasn't already been said? It's awesome. It's a simple layout, but it houses some of the best combat sections in the series. It's a gladiator pit in every sense of the word. The strong survive and the weak don't, and I think the very fact we get our easiest and one of the hardest boss fights in the game here earns it points. It lulls you into a false sense of security and then literally grabs you by the leg, holds you upside down and tells you to adapt or die. It's amazing. Panopticon Blackgate. You will fight me with all your resolve or you will die. Someone is going to die. You, me, or the clown. The question of which of us it is in your hands. Absolute chills. This room design wise is great. It's a prison which turns into a mud pit, and this time Bane is the surgeon, breaking Batman down until he manages to get the upper hand. Batman won't kill him, but he has to, or more people will die. The stakes in this room are enough for it to be on this list for me, and it's the real final fight design of it, all the thugs cheering on, which just makes it a personal favourite for me. Gotham Royal Rooftop Bane Fight, Gotham Royal Hotel. All aboard the Bane train! Yeah! You know I couldn't mention this place without the Bane train, which is my worst nightmare come true. But you know what? Again, due to the story that happens on this roof, it needed to be here. I also adore the Talon statues, which both confirm that the Court of Owls is operating to some extent in the Arkham universe, and the fact they're about as bad as keeping secrets as they are in Gotham Knight. It also has that cool news report camera angle we get to play in. There's just a lot of really cool moments that are elevated by this roof, and although it falls into the "is this really a room" category, it's still really great. Wayne Manor Library, Wayne Manor. Our first inclusion from the Cold Heart DLC. I think the whole of Wayne Manor is a great place to explore, especially as someone who lives for the lore of the Waynes in the Arkhamverse, but this room specifically just makes me happy. It's a great stealth room to hunt in, and also fits well in line with the rest of the manor, and the decor which seems to be consistent across all of Bruce's stomping ground. Black Mask's Safe House, Gotham City. This gets itself into the list purely for the absolutely amazing detective section we play through here. From start to finish, this might be one of my favourite sections in the series as a whole, and the gruesome nature of it just makes it stand out to me, and the imagery of Roman Sionis' girlfriend dangling from the chandelier just sticks with me. Gotham Merchants Bank, Gotham City. Specifically the main lobby of it. The Gotham Merchants Bank is one of the best stealth rooms in this game. It has plenty of places to try a ton of different takedown techniques, and is genuinely quite tricky to navigate due to the stairs and the little off-shooting rooms, which can make this room quite hard. It also houses the Deadshot boss fight, which I maintain to this day might be Arkham's most overlooked boss fight in terms of its intuitive ideas and overall difficulty. This is a great room. Cyrus Pinckney's Tomb, Gotham City. Containing a mystery still unsolved, this tomb again harkens back to the Asylum's atmosphere, and I think despite its relative anonymity compared to its other room counterparts in the series, it sticks out to me as a really well-crafted, lore-filled room. And if you're interested in knowing the whole story of this place, I have done a full-length video on the mystery of Cyrus Pinckney. Boom, get shilled to. Link in the description. That was shameless. Steel Mill Drug Lab, Steel Mill. Green, grungy, and grey. This drug lab always sticks out to me for one imposing reason, that being the central container thingy, which has a giant black mask on it. I don't know why, but it always sticks in my head and remains there whenever I play this part of the game, and I think it's a great testing stealth encounter, and it's a real shame we only visit it once because it's really well made. Enigma's HQ, Gotham City. Enigma's hideout is exactly what I'd expect. Slightly unnerving, very tech-based, and a ball ache to get into. It basically sums up the Riddler in these games for me, but I think it's a great hideout for Eddie, and it even has the first Riddler trophy in it, which has to get at some points. Joker's Funhouse, Gotham Royal. Joker's Funhouse Part 1. This section of the game is really cool. It's exactly what the Joker should be. Elaborate, mildly funny, and very unsettling. The games you have to play to save his own men from dying are really fun, especially the memory game, and I think the whole layout and aura surrounding this room is really cool, and it gives me this sense of impending dread that no other location in this game does for some strange reason. Bane's Hideout, Gotham City. Oh, Bane, you might be everyone's favourite assassin, but no one ever talks about your little homely hideaway, do they? That's where I'm going to come in, because I think that's a shame, because this is such a cool place. Bane's Field HQ has a whole host of lore-building interactions which you can interact with as you make your way through it. It feels lived in, and most importantly, it feels like a place where Bane would actually work. It has comically large weights, drugs, and intelligence collected by the man himself, which unfortunately leads to Batman blowing this place up, as he finds out Bane has deduced who he is. This scene would get it into the list anyway, but the rest of the things in it which show Bane's hyper-intelligence just adds to it. The fact he was trying to chemically engineer a way to fight the negative effects of Venom, while simultaneously ordering an army of mercenaries and fighting Batman, and deducing his identity all from this hideout, just goes to show how cool Bane really is in Arkham Origins. The My Alibi nightclub, Gotham City. Probably a strange inclusion into the list, but I feel it's deserved. We visit this location twice in the game, and both times it sticks out to me as one of the better locations in the game. It feels like a real, used, and subsequently abandoned nightclub, complete with all of the mod cons you'd expect. It's really cool, and vastly underrated. A great room, in a great game. Well, you knew this was coming, didn't you? Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, the Batman Experience, Metropolis. I know this game sucks. This room, though, is pretty fun. It at least reminds us of a time before this game existed, and that, well, that's a time I want to remember very fondly. Batman Arkham Shadow, kicking us off with Batcave under Blackgate. One of Batman's makeshift field caves, it captures the essence of a real Batcave, but it's somehow more daunting as you're watched over by a Knight of the Order of Saint Dumas, a possible glimpse into a future untold. It acts as Bruce's home away from home, similar to his Dead Man's Point getaway back at the asylum, and it's awesome. It has computers galore, a suit changer so matches can become Batman, and of course this is the main hub for all of Batman's nightly comings and goings during Match's stint on Blackgate Island. Blackgate Courtyard, Blackgate. Dark, moody, different. It's Blackgate's courtyard, and wow, it's good. Lady Justice towers in the corner while the inmates mingle. Among them are Ferris Boyle, Ricky LeBlanc, and, well, you. This is the closest we get to see how the criminals of Gotham network, and it never ceases to amaze me in terms of its attention to detail and love for the franchise as the whole. It's truly special. Pigsty, Gotham City. One of the only times we get to see the crime-fighting trio of Batman, Gordon and Harvey in action together is in this room, and it sticks out to me as one of the best moments in Arkham Shadow, and it just so happens that it's in this really well-crafted, well-thought-out room. And I think the fact this is one of the only times we get to see this trio work together just elevates it that little bit more. Ship, prison room, ship. The Sea Shadow, the Rat King ship, whatever its name is, it's the catalyst for the emotional climax of Arkham Shadow, and its prison cells add to its mystique and quintessential Arkham aura. You find Nakano here after presuming him dead, which adds to the tension this part of the ship builds. Solomon Wayne Courthouse, Gotham. Sound familiar? Well, that's because it is. But here, it's untouched by the two hands of Two-Face, and it has an air of professionalism to it. It's still as iconic as it is memorable, and serves as the place where Harvey becomes Two-Face, a monumental moment in the lives of all involved, and it would later become his stomping grounds. Fitting, fun, and fresh. A great taste on an old classic. Garden Lobby, Blackgate. It's a garden level, enough said. While writing this video, I've come to realise how much I adore garden levels in Batman games, whether it be a poisonous appointment in LEGO Batman, the botanical gardens in Arkham Asylum, or here in Blackgate. There's just something so unnerving about it, and I relish it, and I love this place. Matches Cell, Blackgate. The only room in the entire series we can actually customise and really make our own. Even though it's a small room, we spend a lot of time here, and it sticks out to me because of its uniqueness and its homely vibe. It also has a mirror, which, for anyone like me, who finds mirrors really fun in games for no apparent reason, this was a great touch. And that concludes the top 100 rooms in the Arkham games. I think it's a pretty good list, and I can't think of truly iconic rooms that I might have missed out. But if you can think of any, let me know down below. Thank you all so much for your support. Hitting 10k still doesn't feel real at this point, and I'm extremely grateful for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took way too long to make, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I know I haven't uploaded in about a week, and I hope this was worth it, even if it was just worth it a little bit. I'll see you all in the next video, and trust me when I say things will only get bigger from here. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.